93 Cantona, 2.3 mil, is extinct. Will his price go up? That's what we're going to look at today and see, is he worth the coins you are willing to spend on this French centre forward? He's a 5-star, 4-star, 6'2" with a high medium. He is right-footed. We've got a lot of traits on him as well, including flair, power header, outside of the foot, and then the rest are AI orientated. So in terms of this, we're looking pretty nicely on the stats. We've got great physicals, dribbling's pretty sick, as well as the composure. Passing's decent, shooting's decent, pace could do with a bit of work, but 89 most definitely isn't awful. The chem style that you're going to want to go with before we have a look at it on Footbin is going to be either engine or basic, as he has a very well-rounded stats. We're going to be using him up front. Let's have a look at Cantona and see what this man can do. I recommend using SkyCoach at skycoach.gg. Link will be in the description, and make sure on your checkout to use the code JT11 for a discount on your order. Into him again. He's going to have that physical prowess in him behind the defense as we find him once more. Cut on the inside. Oh, we've tried the Trivela, but he's I don't know why he's turned in a little bit more there. We had it perfect, ready for the shot, and he decides, no, I'm going to do a 90-degree turn. Cantona with a bit of turn. He's going to look for that ball into Messi. Cantona with a through ball. It's a good ball into De Bruyne. Into Cantona again. He's going to let in a bit of Cruyff as he does most of the work himself before he's caught down. Again, Cantona is going to be bringing them balls forward. He is very much a traditional centre forward when it comes to the position, which definitely does show. Very much like a Cam, but I think Cam would be too far back for him. I do like him almost in the range to shoot, kind of just picking the ball up here, and then obviously given his run, finding the options off him, as he has got abundance of physicals and obviously passing, dribbling traits as well. If we can find him in here, it's a great little ball. Big chip. Knew as soon as I let go of the power, we did screw that one up. It's a solid ball through, I believe, from Bellingham, and a lovely, lovely run from Cantona. Showing the pace is definitely not an issue with this card at very, very good pressured situations. Just necessarily my shooting. Little dink over the top. Cantona, left foot across. Probably should have went down the left. Didn't notice Pope was out, but a solid ball through nonetheless. Cantona finding wide, is going to go for the through ball, sees it into R9, who's going to give a hit and hope, and R9 straight over the keeper, and that is the importance of having multiple top end players if you can afford them. Cantona again is going down the right hand side this time. Can we find that through ball? Looking for the little chip as well. It's a bit of a late one. Push gas. Good save from Pope this time. Into Cantona. Fakes in the other side. Can he get back up? Oh, that's a turn and a half. Pushing, driving forward. Might have just been offside, but that was a sweet turn from him. And that's kind of the big difference between somebody like a Cantona and just a normal centre forward. The turning circle on him is absolutely fantastic for somebody so tall in this game. As we find him through again, it's a good first touch. It's a right foot across goal and off Pope's chest. There it is. Little left foot through ball. Nothing too crazy as we try and find him back with a little bit of skills from Thiago himself. A little bit of keep ball. Can we find a little bit of a run in? Little inside. Nice little spin. Finds it across. Good save again from Pope. Maybe trying him on the other side might be a little bit better for more of a finesse aspect rather than necessarily the outside of the foot. Gone for straight down the middle with Cantona now. Let's see if there's a bit of a difference between having him almost as his own kind of lone striker mixed in with a few centre forwards rather than necessarily him playing on that wing. I feel like him being so physical and kind of agility based in the on the right is just definitely not necessarily his sort of game style. I like him in the middle. He's physical. He has that passing ability to get round players as well as opening up little pockets. Every single time you see a pass here, he then runs in. Can we go for a right outside of the foot? Pope seems to got that one on lock at least. Oh, but Thiago can do it. Into him again. This is the beauty of him. I don't necessarily need him all the time to be that through ball sort of striker, because he's got such a good hold up play that you can utilize in him and literally just giving it to feet and having players run off him. But it would be very, very stupid. Wow, okay. It would be very stupid to not have players that wouldn't run off him as well. You definitely need to have the right players to link him up as well. We'd be looking at them in the overall with players that you could link him with, obviously in terms of French players, or just naturally anybody that you've got in the club that a lot of people seem to be running. Good little footwork there. Finds him back. Can we go for the finesse? He's gone for a very, very weak shot. Into him again as he finds it. It's a solid shot this time. And Pope with a beauty. Cantona the run through. Doesn't find any physicals. This guy knows full well to keep it away from him. He knows his physical prowess is definitely a lot stronger than some centre-backs that he's got in this team. Good little play. Finds in a push gas all the way if he can. Oh, I've let it go. Let that go massively. Cantona takes the first. Gone the right way and he's still missed. I don't know if this is just a dry spell in the office, but he definitely feels a hell of a lot better than that. I've used this card multiple times across games and I know full well his shooting is miles better than that. Oh, it's a solid through ball into push gas and he's brought down very, very late on. Have we got anything for a free kick with Cantona? 98, 86, 91. I mean, it's most definitely not terrible. Wouldn't necessarily be the person I'd go with, but we're going to try and see if we... Oh, that's a bit hard. That might go way over. Oh, I mean, you know what? Crossbar and out. Good little bit of turning from him. We get the fake in. What? He's just not having any luck today. Over the top. It's a great through ball. Push gas with a header. R9 trying to deliver it back. Over the top again. That seems to be the solid play from him, is that over the top. He's just got the pace and the physicals to get around the centre-backs. I've definitely not seen as many people or strikers that I've used personally actually win them balls pretty consistently as well. I'm not saying it's every time, but a hell of a lot more than what other strikers have definitely been doing for me. As we find him here, he's going to know, yeah, he's going to know that fake's coming in. Can we win it back though? Little spin inside, love it. Goes for the power, and finally, Cantona gets his goal. Gotta be. Fakes it. Big power, and there is Cantona again. Dying minutes. He has come up trumps in the final minutes of this game. Can we find the hat-trick? It's got to be, what, 3-minute hat-trick if we manage to. Finds him again. Little spin across. It's lovely. Couple of step-overs. Finds it. Go for it. Oh, and a keeper makes the final save. That would have been a cracking. And he's done it. 4 or 5 minutes and Cantona brings back the game of a century. Oh, it's a solid ball roll. Gets his left foot across goal. Can we poke it with push gas? And the guy has given up. So we're going into the overall for Cantona then. So he's extinct at 2.3. You'd probably be able to find some of him. As we see, he is going instantly for 2.3. I don't know about this one. I don't know why this one hasn't gone, unless it's just the time and nobody's looking at him. But 2.3 is the max at the moment. I believe he should go up in price. If he does, he might bounce back down. I can imagine he's the sort of player that will hold a bit of value, because if we look at the top players in terms of price, obviously R9's at the most with 10. But if we look at around about the 3 mil mark, you've got Zidane, Pele, Eusebio. If we go a little bit, Jarzinho's at 2.6. To be fair, what's Matthias? Oh, Matthias is extinct as well. I'd imagine he should hold the price around about 3 mil. Judging from Zidane, obviously he might be a little bit under, maybe 2.5, but I feel like once the floodgates open with the price changing, if they ever do, then maybe he might get a hit from that, because there'll be so much supply, or in theory, there'll be so much supply. I can imagine a lot of people will still keep this card in the club, as most definitely he is the best version. His base is still a very, very solid card, to be honest, coming in at 600, which is very high for a base. 740 for the mid. Does lose out on a little bit of pace compared to the other two, so I would say base and prime are the two that I would personally look at. And obviously the 5-star, 4-star is always going to be key. In terms of that, bridging the gap from your midfield to your forwards is this guy. He is perfect at it. If you had a centre forward striker, just even a centre forward and 2 wingers, he can do all of them roles, and he has got pace as well. If you was to whack the engine on him, obviously you get a really nice upgrade on his agility balance, as well as some more pace, as his finishing is as pretty good as you're going to get it, really. Passing wise will then go up a little bit more. I think that is going to be the perfect chem style for the sort of role that he's looking at personally. If you go an all-out striker, maybe the basic could be the move. If we have a look at that, you get a little bit of pace increase, nothing too crazy. Obviously, the finishing doesn't go up either, so again, you've got to ask your question where you want them stats to increase. So I personally would say engine would be the best one, and I think in general, this card is fantastic. He's definitely not necessarily everybody's first choice to buy if you had the option of anybody, but most definitely if an icon pack came up, he's in that top bracket, especially if we have a look at the prime icons. In terms of the top, if we can go to versions, and I think we can sort them by primes. If we go to primes and look at the top names come to mind: R9, Dino, Pele, Hullet, Cruyff, Eusebio, Zidane, yada yada, Puskás, Vieira, Maldini. Then we go into the Cantona, then the Matthias as well, and then we would go into the likes of Henry, Eto'o, Garrincha as the kind of top right now, definitely, but they kind of just go under. If you're saying kind of like team of the season time, you'd call it a dub, but you'd look at these as the top dubs, and Cantona would definitely just be sliding himself into that bracket. And I think in general the stats and everything was brilliant. The later part of the game was the true Cantona. I felt like the shots leading up to it was just almost like a goal drought. He just couldn't quite get past Pope, whereas once he got one, they just went flying. But I think the big thing as well with a card like this, we've used R9 and he scores for fun. Cantona most definitely can do the same, but what Cantona has, which is even better as well for the role he'll play, is he is great at link-up play. Brilliant at bringing in the centre forwards on either side, or the left wing and right wing, or feeding the ball to the striker as well. He has got that ability of passing, the height, the strength, the pace, everything put together is a monster centre forward card. If I was looking at more cam, I think Zidane would probably have it over him. Mainly that 5-star, a bit more agility. That is where Zidane really kind of in his element, really. Whereas Cantona is just a little bit further up. You can definitely still play him as a striker. Most definitely hold up striker. I wouldn't be through balling it every moment of the game, as I feel like that would be easier to defend at the topper level. Not necessarily the top, but I feel like even in like Division 2-1, they would catch on to that pretty quickly. And sometimes there's not a lot you can do. When players are that good, they will be able to do a hell of a lot without you even trying to kind of tackle him. But you don't want to put yourself in that scenario. You want to mix up the play, give him the ball to feet, maybe go for them over the top through balls, as he's got the strength to get around the defenders and pace to beat them to the ball as well. So for me, he is a top striker, centre forward, and just overall forward in this game. So I want to know, is Cantona who you're looking for? I think as well, actually I did remember to say this, in the left wing, right wing scenario, if we are looking for wingers, I think obvious primes in terms of icons: Garrincha, Jarzinho, Best, Ronaldinho. They're pretty standard in it. If we're looking for you just bog standard, we're looking at somebody like a Mane with a bit of a pace increase there. Salah would do really well off him, as well as then maybe a kind of more informed Neymar, Vinny, Bale, Son. Some people with the 90+ pace, not just everybody, because I know that's how it seems. Ribery would be a fantastic one if you've got him. I know a lot of people managed to do that SBC, which is most definitely incredible. Di Maria was a really cheap SBC that I can imagine a lot of people did finish. And then if we go a little bit further down before we finish this, I'm thinking of one more. Where can we look at? I'm thinking Felix wouldn't necessarily... Al Warren. Al Warren is incredible, even though, to be honest, striker is 100% where I'd put him. He most definitely will play off Cantona very, very well, as that guy is so quick. Obvious with the 99 pace. But overall for Cantona, obviously going to be a 10. Be interesting to see where this price ends up at. But 2.3 is at the moment if you can snipe him. But I wouldn't really waste my time doing that. I would wait until the market's updated in hopefully the next couple of days, weeks, maybe. Probably team of the year by the time we get that. So let me know down below what you think about Cantona. If you've got any version of him, or what's your favourite? Have you got a moment for Cantona? Let me know down below, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.